The next plan we need to draw is a roof framing plan. Let's open the drawing. Zoom extents. I've got tons of information showing here. I really need to start with just a single layer turned on, which is the A wall layer. So go ahead, select all, turn them all off. I'll make A wall my current layer and turn it on. My framing plan indicates the structural members that are over my head. I will need some new layers to do this. When I make new layers, one of the things you will have noticed is that the new layer adopts all of the properties of the layer that's current when you create a new one. For example, A wall is current, it's turned on, and it's cyan, continuous. What I need to do when I click a new layer is note that the new layer will also be on and cyan and continuous. This new layer's name is going to be S-FRAM. It will be a cyan layer. I'm going to make another new layer. My next new layer is going to be S-HEAD. This layer is going to be turned on, and it's not going to be cyan, it's going to be blue. Also, it's going to be a Phantom 2 line type. I click Load, Phantom 2, OK. Select it, OK. I've got two new layers here. I'm going to make the S frame layer current, and I'm going to draw my frame. Now, when I do that, it should be cyan. My walls are also cyan. And so in order to be able to see the difference, I'm going to temporarily make my walls a different color. Let's use red. Back on the frame layer, and I can draw my frame, just like the notes from class. So here we have the basic shape of our frame. We need to add the headers as well. I'm going to go ahead and do that too. Layer S head, just like we talked about. And here we run into a slight complication. Even though our annotative scale is set correctly and the line type is, in fact, displaying, we can see it down here in the header. We don't see it in these other two headers. And so we've got a slight complication here we have to deal with. The pattern of the Phantom 2 line type isn't frequent enough in order to show up in such a short line. Here's how I'm going to fix it. Select that line and change the line type scale for that one object. Make it 0.5. Hit escape. You'll see now that that line type does show up, that we've increased the frequency to show up twice as often, or decrease the scale of the pattern by half. And now this pattern shows up. We'll do the same thing for this other object up here. Make sure you select the object first, then change its line type. If I did not have that item selected and change the line type, it would not change this line, but it would change every line we draw after this, no matter the layer. That would be a problem. So I don't want the running setting to be anything except 1. So when it says no selection, this needs to say 1. Okay, this gives us the line work that we need for our framing plan. I'm going to save this because I don't want to lose it. We need a new layout. Let's make a new layout. Before we leave model space, we need to change the walls back to cyan. And what we see here is it's a little bit confusing. The walls and the trusses are sharing a line weight, and they're going to print the same thickness. It's going to be very hard to tell one from the other. In order to fix this, go over to that new layout frame plan. We will need to be sure that all the layers are turned on. I'm going to use my keystrokes. That's a procedure that we learned way back at the beginning of the last class. You can go back and review those layers videos. They're going to make so much more sense now, and you'll get faster and faster with this. Over in the column for VP freeze, I need to adjust which layers are visible here. Click inside the viewport, and we'll see that right now ANO dims is visible, but it should not be. Def points is visible, but it doesn't need to be. SNO dims, that's from our slab plan. We can turn that one off. We can freeze the foundation. We can freeze the slab layer, leaving us only with S frame and S head. Now what's kind of strange about this particular view is that the A wall needs to be on so we can see where the walls are and how they relate to the framing over our heads. Go ahead and un-VP freeze the A wall layer. And we've got a little bit of confusion here. They're both cyan. It'll be hard to see them. There is a column that is visible called VP color. And what we can do with that column is override the color of an individual layer in a specific viewport. We're going to make A wall red in this viewport only. When I do that, I can see that my Layer Properties Manager has highlighted that layer, and the status of that layer is now different than the others. If we go look at the floor plan view, we can see there's a little bit of cleanup to do here as well. We need to turn off S frame in this viewport. We need to turn off S head in this viewport. Now we can see our floor plan showing up correctly, and the walls in this viewport are cyan, and the walls in the frame plan are red.